Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. And there we go. The slides are up. Okay. And just out of curiosity, who was here first? Angela M., thank you so much for being here first. And thank you for being a member. That is very cool. All right. And Helen Marmon is here. Emerald D. And a whole bunch of other people. Okay, let's get on with it then. Oh, and take that away. Antoinette Kennedy, Marie Fabian, hello. Sonia Johnson. Very cool. All right, so Closer Magazine. They couldn't be further from the truth, but I'll get to that later. All I can say is, ain't no way, ain't no way, ain't no way, ain't no way. Yes, one of my favorite Aretha Franklin songs. Ain't no way for me to love you if you won't let me. Okay. That's the one that had Sissy Houston in the background, right? Wailing away. I think that was the one with Sissy Houston. Sissy Houston. There's a name I haven't heard for a while. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, I just confused myself for a second there. All right. That looks right. Okay. All right. Everything is just like I need it. All right. Yesterday was well, turning out to be day before yesterday, right? Anyway, the second, right? The 2nd of September was Doria's birthday. Doria, 69 years young. I hope that when I turn 69, that I'll be just as fit and active and happy and full of life and joy. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I will. I'll make it so. Okay, now these are kind of out of order. I meant to move this further down the line, but I didn't get around to it, and I don't trust myself to remember the comeback. But we will do this briefly. Media efforts to rewrite Kate Middleton's early years with Prince William. Um, as they say, the devil is in the details. This is something that I have feared for quite some time, is that that institution might actually get the last word. That over time, some of those so-called journalists that are very loyal to that institution might actually tinker around with the timetable and the events as they were. And I don't like that because we all know that if given the opportunity, they will use that to paint Harry and Meghan as the villains. They're doing that enough present day. I certainly don't ever want there to be an opportunity for them to do that later on, because of the way Diana has been framed as this um, mentally ill um, daughter of a earl. Not that that institution tortured her, mentally tortured her. Um, Not that they didn't use a great deal of deception in a lot of ways. There was a great deal of deception convincing her that she was marrying into a fairy tale. Everybody seemed to be in on it except for her. Even her parents were in on it. So Diana really didn't stand a chance. I mean, the Spencer family was seduced by this obligation to the crown. And of course, as far as the Mountbatten-Windsors were concerned, it was all in the day's work. And fast forward to 2025, and if, in my opinion, they make Diana seem like she's the villain, like she was playing this. You know how the tabloid reporters, oh, she was playing a dangerous game. She could dish it out as well as she could take it. I had lunch with her one day, and she told me blah 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 blah. Tina Brown claims to have had lunch with Diana, and she has gotten so much mileage out of a lunch that we have no evidence that ever took place. Um, but at the end of the day, Diana is uh, described as someone who just did not have command over her emotions. And I'm afraid they're going to do the same thing to the Sussexes. Big difference is the Sussexes actually work in a partnership with a media company. And so I hope that they will do a documentary on Princess Diana. Now, there's no evidence that that's going to happen, but if at all possible, I hope it does. And also, I hope that they will make a movie from Spare. That's the one thing that they don't mention over in Salt Island is the idea that there may be Spare, the movie. But I could not imagine that the best selling nonfiction ever, the best selling nonfiction ever, I could not imagine if the best selling nonfiction ever in history, that book, Spare, that there would not be a screen adaptation or, you know, I could even see there being some type of Broadway musical. Yeah. Um, like, let me see. Let's take one of the theme songs from Broadway. Um, oh, I know. Um, I could see someone playing Prince William, right, in a Broadway show. Don't tell me not to spy. I simply have to. If someone's going to leak, it's me and not you. Who told you you were allowed to leave the royal firm? You see what I mean? See how easily that plays? And oh yeah. And as for kitty litter, how about if she had a song? What was that song from The Wizard of Oz? If I only had a brain. Remember that one? I could da 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 if I wasn't a baby brain. Oh, so that's what I'm saying. Just imagine somewhere in the future that there will be a screen adaptation of Spare, and there will be a hit um, Broadway musical. The let's see, what would they call a musical about the Waleses? Let me see. Willie and the Beard. Um, Willie and the Yacht Girl. I don't know, but someone needs to make that. Or how about a new, up to date version of Mannequin, where a prince goes to St. Andrews, and then of course he takes a drama class, and in his drama class he finds this plastic fiberglass mannequin, right? And oh man. I mean, it's just there's so many possibilities. And you know what? Instead of hoping that someone will create a film or a musical, why don't I write it myself? Yeah, I could write it myself. I couldn't do any worse. If Kate can make up all that early years crap, surely I can write a movie or a musical about those two misfits. Leg says, like Kate wasn't a yacht girl, Wank isn't a fairy tale. Thank you, Legs, for the super chat. Oh, man. Well, someone's got to write it. Someone has to write it. Someone has to bring it alive for future generations. Okay. Um, let's get on with it. Wait, why is that stuck there? Huh, that's interesting. Well, that seems to be stuck for now. Okay, everything else is working, but I cannot take that bubble away. Okay, well, I'll leave it for a minute and hope. Okay, that was interesting. All right, now it works. Well, my what do you call it? The well, who cares what it was? It seemed like it just locked me out for a minute there, but that's okay. We're back, and that's all that matters. Isn't that weird? Seemed like it locked me out for a second. I was trying to take that bubble away from the screen, and it would not go away. And oh boy, somebody over at Kensington Palace is putting a whammy on me. Someone is giving me the stank eye. Someone is pulling some type of voodoo on me. That's what's happening. If I wasn't a baby brain. Da, 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 da. Hello, Ivy here. Oh, and Muriel is here. Thank you so much. Bonjour. It is 7:18 a.m. in France. Those mofos can rewrite all they want. We have the receipts. Here, here. We keep our receipts. Okay, let's get on with it then. So, again, happy birthday to Doria. Media efforts to rewrite Kate Middleton's early years with Prince William. So, another brilliant article from Feminagra. For years, the palace and sympathetic media have worked to soften the romanticized Kate Middleton early years with Prince William. The story is often told as a simple fairy tale with William cast as a protective prince. A recent example of came from Grant Harold. Oh God, that butler, Grant Harold, the former royal butler, who suggests William broke up with Kate in 2007 only to shield her from from the harsh press attention. Yet, contemporaneous reports and details accounts like Robert Lacey's Battle of the Brothers tell a far more complicated truth rather than a carefully managed pause by William to protect Kate. The breakup reflects William's reluctance to commit to Kate's calculated determination to remain close to him. Kate was always the one, Harold writes in his new book, The Royal Butler, My Remarkable Life in Royal Service, speaking to In Style about the 2007 breakup. he recalls William's demeanor. Harold Grant says, he was very quiet. He became a little bit withdrawn. I didn't see a huge amount of him. I didn't ask him. I didn't say anything. I just knew he wasn't himself 100%. I knew he wasn't himself. Harold even speculated that the split may have been to get the media off Kate's back because it was so bad at the time. Kate was struggling, and I wonder if it was to give give a breathing space. That's just my view. I had no information. That's from Grant Harrell. Or was it that there were other women out there who came from the right pedigree, who came from a family with a good name rather than a bunch of flim flammers? Anyway, what I heard is that William was hoping to send a signal to other aristocratic women out there that he was hot stuff and that he was available, that he was on the market looking for a wife, someone who was not a social climber, as it were. And guess what? There was no families in a country of over 60 million people. There was not one single aristocratic family who would want their daughter to commit to that institution. So they were stuck with Kate. After 10 years, they were stuck with her. And the more of the circus that surrounded the relationship with Kate, the less likely anyone of means and anyone with a good name, there was just no way that they wanted to be a part of that circus. Not to mention William, with that very flat personality of his. I mean, he's not the most eligible bachelor material. He never has been and he never would be. He is dull, self centered, easily triggered. He tells the worst jokes. He's not fun nor funny. People tolerate William. They tolerate him only because they know William will be king. Other than that, there is nothing appealing about him. His looks have gone the way of the state Bentley. Whether it was Queen Elizabeth had to get an upgrade, right? Well, when Queen Elizabeth upgraded to the new state Bentley, that was around the time that William's looks seemed to disappear. So, whatever resemblance he had to Princess Diana is stored away somewhere, stored away on a roll of film or something. But he certainly doesn't have it anymore, tucked away in a magazine somewhere. Anyway, the official narrative versus documented reality, the palace and the sympathetic commentators now present the 2007 breakup as a moment of strategy. William, they suggest, was acting protectively, shielding Kate from the relentless attention of the press. In this version, Kate was always the inevitable choice, the woman destined to become his wife. Contemporaneous reporting told a very different story. William ended the relationship quickly, embraced the single life in London. The press captured him on nights out at the club, such as the Boges, whatever that is, the Mahaki, often surrounded by women who were not Kate. And at the Bournemouth, he was photographed enjoying himself in ways that did not align with the image of the quiet man pining for his partner. You got that right. Like that one image that shows him with someone's, shall we say, upper area in his, oh well. While William was portrayed as a carefree bachelor, Kate faced a very different type of coverage. The tabloids seized on her new status as his ex girlfriend, coining the nickname Weighty Katie, and suggested that she had little identity outside of hope of marriage. Photographers trailed her daily walks to work and her appearance at social events, framing her as a woman whose future hinged entirely on William's decision to commit. The contrast between the current narrative and the reporting of the time is striking. William showed reluctance during the breakup, while Kate was worked to remain visible until she regained her place by his side. Oh, that's just disgusting. William's reluctance and the pressure. Robert Lacey in Battle of the Brothers documented how William's hesitation stretched on for years. That's embarrassing. You know that is absolutely embarrassing. She ought to be embarrassed. He repeatedly tested the relationship, distancing himself while Kate remained available. This pattern created a sense of uncertainty that defined much of their early years together. Well, where's the part where Sir Richard Branson gave her some tips about? Where's the part where Richard Branson gave her a tip? I say loosely. He gave her a tip. Where's that part where Richard Branson gave her a tip late night at some party where they could discuss ways to improve? What was that flop of a company called? Party Pieces. Well, yeah, Party Pieces. That's an understatement. There were a party, and I'm sure there were a piece or two here or there. So, yeah, Party Pieces. Got it. Um, by the end of the decade, the pressure around him had changed. William was approaching 30. The public expected an engagement, and the institution made it clear that it was time for stability. According to Lacey, the decision to propose in 2010 owed less to romance than to circumstance. William explored other options, but none materialized. Like I said, nobody wanted him. While Kate stayed constant and the monarchy needed an heir, the engagement was not the fairy tale the palace press, uh, the palace press relishes, but the result of an external pressures finally closing in. Nearly 2 decades after the early turbulence of William and Kate's relationship, the story is being retold. The story is being retold with a softer lens. The palace's image strategy is clear. Solidify Kate as the perfect, dutiful queen in waiting while erasing the messier realities that once dominated the press. Gone are the headlines about William's wandering eye, um, the nightclub escapades, and the Weighty Katie label that suggests passivity rather than resilience. Today's narrative emphasizes Kate's devotion, her resilience under pressure, and the inevitability of her marriage to William. This reframing not only protects Kate, but also flatters William, who is now just one step away from the throne. With Charles' health under constant scrutiny, courtiers and royal commentators have strong incentives to cultivate goodwill with the future king, feeding his ego by recasting the past as a love story serves the purpose. In this environment, figures like Grant Harrow are valuable mouthpieces, By suggesting William broke up with Kate in 2007 to protect her from the media, Harold shifts focus from the documented realities to a chivalric and romantic myth. It is less about accuracy than about preparing the ground for William's reign, where loyalty and access to the monarch will depend on how the narrative is shaped today. Let's see. Leg says, so he broke up with her over text for her own good. That's what they said. I don't believe it. I do not believe it. I think he broke up with her because he was embarrassed amongst his friends, the other blue bloods that he hung around with. He was very embarrassed because they all knew her as Kate Middleton, the one who would throw her bum out the window every time she heard a man's voice outside. Kate Middleton, who used to work on a yacht with very wealthy European businessmen. Kate Middleton, who was good for a night out at the party herself. And it just goes on and on. Kate Middleton, who was dazed and confused and obviously inebriated or worse in the back of a black cab. That Kate. Kate, who walks around with her dress flying up every time. Even as a princess, as a royal princess, she went out and about with her dress blowing over the top of her head. And I don't think that that would have happened unless he approved of it. I think that was like some little game that the two of them played. It was absolutely disgusting and very disrespectful to Queen Elizabeth. But the press will not say that, but I'll say it. It was ignorant and disrespectful. Thank you, Legs. Connie Bomber! Tangerine Squeeze. Mary H., thank you so much for being here. Well, yeah, it was absolutely disgusting. I mean, look at the outfit that she has on there. That is some future queen, but yet they want to paint the picture of her sitting around with her face in a book, pining and wanting and drooling for William, while William's out at a club somewhere partying. Kate Middleton, who found herself on a late night, what appeared to be a date with a billionaire businessman. She must have been feeling some kind of way, but I don't think she was sitting around waiting or hurt. That whole thing was embarrassing to her. And this idea that William had to go and sow some wild oats and to become a man before he could propose, that he had to be more sure of himself. Good luck with that one. Everybody knows how that played out. They're hoping to impress a generation that was too young to remember. Check this out. One of the squaddies did a side by side with young Prince Harry and, of course, young Prince Archie. And, of course, yeah, can't really make out Archie's face, and deliberately so, but yeah, I mean, look at the shape of the ears, look at the hair, even the angle of the face, right? The point of the chin. That is a young Prince Harry right there. Almost like someone cloned Harry, and we just need to wait until he grows up so that we can see that they look virtually identical. That is going to be very interesting. Who knew that ginger gene was so dominant? Well, I tell you, wherever the gingers show up, they do show up strong. We had a couple of gingers in my family. Obviously, through the, slavery or whatever, the opportunists, they passed their genes on to a couple of my family members with reddish hair and freckles. Yeah, freckles kind of runs in the family, although I don't have any. Um, but yeah, there you go. And this spot of bother here. By the way, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. So, what is it? Mainzer, the Sussexes would consider a deal to come back to royal work. Now, don't get your blood pressure up. There's nothing to that. There's nothing to that. But some podcaster seems to be of the opinion that that is a possibility. It ain't going to happen. But let's have some fun with it. So Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex, would consider returning to the royal duties, according to an award-winning podcaster, culture critic Christian Meinzer, spoke to the Daily Express UK and said that it was never Prince Harry's intention to give up his responsibilities as a senior royal. Now, I'm actually going to play a soundbite for you that says otherwise, but they say that that was never his intention. There was no future in that institution for Harry. No future because of his brother. If his brother was, let's say, Queen Elizabeth, stay with me. If his brother was Queen Elizabeth, let me just say someone of a completely different temperament, right? Then it would have been possible. They would have never had to flee for their lives in the first place. But we all know that's not who William is. The idea that someone like a William would control the purse strings for you and your family, the idea that someone like Prince William would be a legal custodian to your children while you're still living in the country, that leaves a lot to be desired. I mean, technically, when Charles goes down into that storm cellar at the St. George Chapel to join his parents, William will technically, legally be the guardian of Archie and Lily. Under English law, he will be their guardian. Let that sink in. So now let's ask that question again. Would Harry and Meghan ever go back? I say no. Harry has repeatedly said it was never his intention to completely surrender his senior royal duties. Meinzer said, in a perfect world, Harry and Meghan would have been able to move forward. Yeah, in a perfect world. Oh, I'm sorry. There we go. Yeah, in a perfect world, Harry and Meghan would have been able to move forward with passion projects while serving the crown, like Prince Edward, Harry's uncle, and his wife, Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. The nightly host said that it was the late Queen Elizabeth II's decision to allow Harry and Meghan to completely leave their royal duties and move to the U.S. and didn't offer the Duke and Duchess of Sussex the opportunity to pursue their passions. You know, I have my doubts about that. I really have my doubts about that. I consider what Harry said at the Sandringham Summit, that the Queen said nothing, and at some point she just left, while William was yelling like a maniac and Charles was throwing a bunch of lies out there things that he knew full well was not true. But at that point, we all know who had control over the monarchy, and that was Charles, which is why when the Queen wanted to make sure that the Sussexes had adequate security, her wishes were ignored. Her wishes were ignored. They had security just long enough until Charles was able to build a case against them, and then he snatched security away. I do not believe that was the Queen's wishes. The Queen wanted them to have security. Charles took it away. I still say that Charles was a regent in all but name only. But the Queen did not grant Harry and Meghan the same opportunity, nor did the institution treat the racism Meghan faced with the seriousness it warranted. News Nation Paula Froelich reported in July that the representatives for Prince Harry and Meghan met with one of the King Charles' aides, hinting at a royal truce. Again, that means nothing about them coming back to work. According to Windsor, despite Queen Elizabeth II not allowing Meghan and Harry to pursue projects, King Charles might, if the arrangements for their duties to have both some flexibility and a great deal of safety, I think Harry and Meghan would certainly consider accepting the opportunity, Windsor said. Harry and Meghan are fully invested in their lives in California. Meghan has a lifestyle brand again. Now, why would Meghan risk damage to her lifestyle brand by performing these royal duties? At best, the Sussexes might show up at, let's say, an event, but no investitures for Harry or anything like that. It would be wonderful if the kids could attend some of those events, like the Troop and the Colors or something like that. But that would benefit the institution more than it would benefit the Sussexes. For the Sussexes, it would probably do more damage to their image than it would help. Because the tabloid media will spin it in a way that makes it sound absolutely horrendous. So it just would not make sense. They don't need it. It's not necessary. And it would only benefit the institution. It would do nothing for them. It would be to Charles' advantage because it would make him seem as though he actually has a heart. So again, I say no. Now, Kaiser from Celibici said, here's the thing. Now, this is Kaiser of Celibici. She says, take this out of Harry and Meghan's hand for a second and just consider what kind of realistic offer Charles could make to the Sussexes. Charles is incapable of admitting mistakes or acknowledging that the firm mishandled everything about Meghan, and the firm also wants no part of Meghan specifically coming back in any way. They absolutely want to control her, but they don't want her back. Bear with me. That means that if Charles ever made a realistic offer, it would be to Harry alone, and the caveats would be insane. They would still involve security shenanigans and being scapegoated by William and the press. Now, put that offer in Harry and Meghan's hand, Would they ever agree to any of it? Of course not. As soon as Harry heard, this is just about you, we don't want Meghan whatsoever, Harry would be out. But none of this matters because a Charles cannot, and I mean, yeah, because Charles cannot admit to making any kind of mistake to this degree. And B, Harry has made it clear repeatedly for years that he's happy in California, in Montecito, where there are no leaks. You know, I would say I would be even willing to accept, oh my goodness, maybe there is some temptation there, except for two things, three things really. Invictus, a tour of Nigeria, and a tour of Colombia. Those three things. When the Sussexes went to The Hague and they went to Dusseldorf, they were treated as though they were heads of state, motorcade and all, big burly security guards. When the Sussexes went to Nigeria, they were treated as though they were heads of state, big burly security guards, armored motorcades, everything. When the Sussexes went to Colombia, they were treated as though they were heads of state, big burly security guards, motorcades. And in every case, the press was excluded at the request of the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. And they were able to do all of this without Kensington Palace, without Buckingham Palace, without the Home Office. So, in terms of them missing out on, let's say, the importance of their role, I say not. I didn't see anything that was inconsistent with a prince and princess of the realm visiting any of those places. Oh, you know what? I'm very rude. I left out Canada. I didn't see anything inconsistent. Everything seemed to be as though it was mumbled and willy leaks. It could have very well have been kitty litter and Prince William. It could have been, it easily could have been them. The only thing that made it different is that people actually was glad to see them, as opposed to Will and Kate, who went to Boston and got a lengthy lecture about the transatlantic slave trade. remember the that one lady, I think she was a pastor or something of that effect, and she talked about the evils of white supremacy and racism, something like that. I mean, she was all over them like a cheap suit. And there they were, sitting there with egg on their face. And the same thing happened when they went to Jamaica. There they were, sitting there with egg all over their face. Those are two events where William and Kate went on a tour and was completely embarrassed. The people in Boston barely knew they were there. And those that did not care. They were very blasé about it. So I ask again, what difference does it make? Harry and Meghan successfully successfully has gone on several tours without a hiccup, flawless. There was no one booing them. There was no one demanding that they leave. And don't even get me started about that trip they made to Jamaica. Huh? Don't even get me started with that one. So I say again, to what advantage would there be? It'd be one thing if they hadn't done any of those things, but they did, and they were successful, and their images flooded the media all over the place. And Willie Leaks and Kitty Litter had nothing to compare to it. They're not even allowed to leave the country. They're not even allowed. William, and when I say that, number 10, the Home Office, none of them, no one has come forward and asked Will and Kate to represent Britain anywhere on the planet. They don't want it for fear of embarrassment. For fear of embarrassment. Have you noticed they're not asking them to do anything? They should have gone on some type of foreign trip somewhere. They don't even have anything planned. Nothing. Nobody wants them. There's no government anywhere that is saying, do you think you could send Tweedledee and Tweedledum? Yeah, we want to show people what a bird brain looks like. There's no request for them. Nobody wants them. I bet you people want Harry and Meghan. They're not wanted and they're not needed. They are superfluous. They're like that tag this on your linen. Okay, now that I've made this purchase, now can I tear this thing off? It keeps scratching me. Nobody wants them. They are unneeded anywhere in the world. Will and Kate are a complete turnoff. You would think the future king and queen would be in demand, but they're not. They're not even asked to go to Scotland or Wales, Northern Ireland. There's nobody that wants them. And they went up to Scotland. I don't recall seeing them anywhere. There was nothing about that trip up there where they were featured anywhere for anything. What does that tell you? And really, nobody missed Kate at the Royal Ascot except for Charles. Nobody missed her. It was not the only reason why it was news is because they were trying to build an excuse for her with the public. I don't know that anybody would have missed her. This is a nice little exercise, but it doesn't serve a purpose. Harry and Meghan, they have built their lives over here. Would you rather build a financial future and security for your children who will definitely need it, or would you want to go back there and be subject to the whims of William. Isn't it amazing how they put William front and center, even in places where he has nothing to do with anything? Whatever happens with Harry over there, all we hear is how William was bristling. William was incandescent. William said there's no way he can do this and he better do that. Every time there's this constant chatter, leaks from Kensington Palace about what William is feeling about Harry. He tries to do everything he can to make himself central to everything to do with Harry whenever he goes over there. Nobody asked William. William disapproved. Now, see, that's that point where I almost dropped the F-bomb. I'm glad I caught myself.
Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family? Prince? Can you see a day when you would return as a full-time member of the royal family? Prince?
You could barely hear it, but he said no. 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 And that's it. That's it. No. That part of his life is over. He's moved on. People do it all the time. And as for Closer magazine, well, let me let Sussex Soldier do it. I'm here rolling with laughter, and I want to share some of it with you. Now, according to the Closer September 2025 issue, Prince Harry is not flying back to the UK for the Whale Child Awards, but to win over that woman with no substance. Kate Middleton. Yeah, he's rushing back over there so that he can, I guess, get approval, so that Kate might smile upon him with approval. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know what Harry could have done. I mean, he literally married someone almost so opposite to the Stepford wife. It's not even funny. So, next. Next. All right. Sussex Soldier again. When you have no friends, no female friends, they desperately want her to have a female friend. Like we forgot about the Fantastic Four. That, of course, is that famous photo with, Rose Hanbury, right? Remember the Fantastic Four? Remember how William and Kate and the Marquise of Cholmondeley and Rose Hanbury, how they were supposed to be like, I don't know, in some kind of a rom-com friendship. And of course, nothing could be further from the truth. That was a great photo op that they had on that particular day. Do you guys know that that is probably the last time, and I'm trying to think, that is the last time where we saw Kate actually smiling, a sincere, somewhat, you know, girl friendly type of smile, as though she and Rose were friends. And since that photo, I'm trying to search in the cobwebs of my mind any images of Kate where she and another female has shared a laugh or any type of pleasant exchange. I'll give you a good example. She sits at Wimbledon with her sister. She goes to Wimbledon with her daughter. Does she not have any friends at Wimbledon that could seat with her? Like Queen Elizabeth, Princess Elizabeth, Queen Elizabeth. She had friends that started passing away, and the press would say, well, so and so was at her coronation and her wedding and such. Where's the equivalent of that for Kate? Where's the equivalent? And I will say that I believe that that was a very sincere, warm exchange between the Cambridges and the Chumleys, right? It looked very real. But since that time, I cannot think of a single situation where Kate and, let's say, a good girlfriend, any type of lady friend, ever, anywhere, they try to push this idea that Kate is close to, what's that misfit's name? Sophie. Not true. Not true at all. Kate does not tolerate other women. She will not tolerate other women in her orbit. It's almost impossible that there is just absolutely no images of Kate and any other woman for any other thing aside from members of the family on either side. That's it. Very strange. Very strange. Princess Kate will soon live just a short drive away from one of her closest confidants in royal family as Prince William and Princess Kate prepare for the big move from their humble Adelaide cottage to Forest Lodge on the Windsor estate. One major royal who will also be their new neighbor is set to be on hand for support. Uh-huh. So I'm guess they mean the Duchess, Duchess Sophie. The Princess of Wales will soon live just a 10-minute drive from her royal best friend, Sophie, Duchess of Edinburgh, who resides in the nearby residence of Bagshot Park. Bagshot Park. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's it. I don't have anything else to add to that. Mm, yeah, I would think that if Kate had friends, that she might invite someone to the royal box at Wimbledon. It makes you wonder if she's allowed to have friends. Yeah, very strange. All I can say is it's very strange. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? It makes you wonder. I couldn't imagine what would be so important that they have to get Sophie somewhere really fast. Now, I want to share this with you. Mm, Well, I wanted to, but that didn't work out. Let me see. Maybe I didn't save it the way I thought I did.
And without my staff, without Meg, I was confronted directly about my legal action. My father said it was massively damaging to the reputation of the family. Alone, without my staff, without Meg, I was confronted directly about my legal action. My father said it was massively damaging to the reputation of the family. How so? It makes our relationship with the media complicated. Complicated? There's a word. Anything you do affects the whole family, he said. One could say the same about all your actions and decisions. They affect us as well. Like, for instance, whining and dining the same editors and journalists who've been attacking me and my wife. The bee or the wasp jumped in to remind me one has to have a relationship with the press, sir. We've talked about this before. A relationship, yes, but not a sordid affair. I tried a new tack. Everyone in this family has sued the press, including Granny. Why is this any different? Chirping crickets. Silence. There was some more wrangling, and I said, we had no other option. And we wouldn't have had to do it if you'd all protected us. And protected the monarchy in the process. You're doing a disservice to yourselves by not protecting my wife. I looked around the table. Stony faces. Was it incomprehension? Cognitive dissonance? A long-term mission at play? Or did they really not know? Were they so deep inside a bubble, that they really hadn't fully appreciated how bad things were? For instance, Tatler magazine quoting an old Etonian saying I'd married Meg because foreigners like her are easier than girls with the right background. Or the Daily Mail saying Meg was upwardly mobile because she'd gone from slaves to royalty in just 150 years. Or the social media posts about her being a yacht girl and an escort, or calling her a gold digger and a whore and a bitch and a slut and the N-word repeatedly. Some of those posts were in the comments section on the pages of all three palaces' social media accounts and still hadn't been expunged. Or the tweet that said, "Dear Duchess, I'm not saying that I hate you, but I hope your next period happens in a shark tank." Or the revelation of racist texts. Alone, without my staff, without Meg, I was confronted directly about my legal action. My father said it was massively damaging to the reputation.
Okay. That just repeated at that point. But yeah, all of those things that Harry had to face on that trip back to the UK, where he was having a conversation with his father and his brother on the grounds of Frogmore, and conveniently they made sure that Meghan was not available. He didn't have anyone from his team, although from that one remark from the Bee and the Wasp, obviously there were people present for Charles and William. Oh, wait a minute. I think maybe that was at the Sandringham when that happened. But as Harry said, what is the difference between me suing the press and everybody else in the family that has sued the press? Why is it different when I do it? You want to know why it's different? As I've said so many times, as soon as something becomes about a black person, everybody's body language, everyone's words and mannerisms change. Something always changes when it has something to do with a black person. That always happens. rules are renewed and changed, and the goalpost has been moved. I've never known a situation where that did not happen, where suddenly, oh, you didn't understand. Meghan didn't even have to be present for that to happen. But because it was about the way she had been treated by the family and by the press, then all of a sudden everything changed. It always does. And Harry said himself that one of the most shocking things for him, something he had never noticed before, is how everyone got so different every time Meghan's name came up. The mere thought of Meghan, and everyone got different. People that he had known his whole life began to behave in a certain way. A change that he obviously noticed now that he was married to someone of African descent. He saw that everything seems to be different now. It wasn't his imagination, it just was. But remember, they are very much not a racist family. Okay, let's go on to something a little more pleasant, like Maya Brenner. Just wow. Meghan wore her custom letter necklace on the newest season of With Love Meghan. This special piece has letters for her little ones alongside her and Harry's birthstones. So I didn't know this, but there was another necklace. This one right here. You can see an A for Archie, an L for Lily. See how they kind of get that L in there? Huh, that was clever. And the, let me see, there's a heart and a sapphire birthstone. And let's see, what's the other birthstone? Is that a birthstone? But yeah, so all of that was on the necklace that she wore there. I don't think I noticed that one, but it is very nice. So, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a really good photo of it, and I don't think I have the name of it. Tell you what, I'll take care of that tomorrow. I will take care of that tomorrow because unless there's something out of place. Let me see, I'm looking ahead. And nope, it's not. I just didn't put the rest of the information, but I will correct that tomorrow. But yeah, that is, although that seems really unfair to them, but let me see if there's a quick fix for that. If not, then I will do it tomorrow. Ah, okay, yeah, I can do that now. So the name of it is Maya Brenner, founder, designer, mom. Welcome to my Instagram. Is that the name of it though, Maya Brenner? Anyway, I am following her now. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, something's out of order. Oh, how did I do that? Actually, something is missing. Gosh darn it. Oh, no, it's not. No, it's not. Yeah, because I knew it was 3 photos. There's that one, right? And then there's these 2. So, yeah, Maya Brenner, if you're interested, that's the name. You can see it, Maya Brenner, and you can connect with Instagram, or you can try something else. But I believe that is the name of the jewelry, is Maya Brenner. Yep, that is the name of the jewelry. So yeah, that was all I needed was what I have here and here. Okay, so we can go on. Now, this young man right here received his apricot. Yes, he's got apricot. It's really, what is that? Is real, how do you say that? It's really, okay, really, oh my goodness. Does that say oral? Really oral? Anyway, it is what it is. Um, didn't think about it before this moment, but let me play that sound bite for you. Let me play that sound bite for you. It is what it is. And he is free to name his channel whatever he wants to name it.
Take a pause from our regularly. I'm gonna pause from our regularly scheduled drama and do an as ever unboxing. Okay, this side is up. Megan, ready? Snip. My address is on the other side, so we can't flip it around. Snip. Did I get it? I did not get it on this side. Snip. Okay. I'm literally opening with care. And snip, snip. Snip. Megan knows my name, guys. It has a little note. I'm gonna put this on my fridge. Fancy. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Don't need that anymore. Oh. Oh, that shit looks good. That was good timing too. I got some thighs in the my hands are clean, I just washed them. What? Oh what? Oh, that is good. What? Megan, you are that.
Okay, so he said, that's good. Megan, you are that girl. He said it's delicious. As you can see, he has the apricot spread, and he said he had something that he just cooked. I guess it was wings or something. You could hear the bell. And anyway, he's going to use that as a dipping sauce or whatever. But he literally took his finger and stuck it in there. He said, my hands are clean. And yeah, so he just unboxed his apricot. Now, I suppose that was a gift. That was a gift for him. So I don't know. I haven't seen his work before, so I intend to check him out soon. But I only found him while I was prepping for today. But apparently, he is a fan, and he seems like he got something complimentary. I don't know if he tried to buy it and then was refunded or if they just sent it. But anyway, he seems to be very, very happy. And he said, it's good. Okay, let's move on then. A beautiful California sunset. Remember, I told you, in this lifetime, if you don't do anything else, do make sure that you take the time to see a California sunset. There's nothing else like it. Beautiful California sunset. And see there? And now this was actually a video that Meghan posted. She took a picture of the sunset, and she also had the video where you can hear the waves going back and forth. Beautiful, beautiful sound of the waves. Okay. And right here, absolutely enjoyed with Love Meghan. Meghan season 2 learned so much about cooking, food, sourcing local ingredients, cultural dishes, hosting, and crafting. Meghan's attention to detail, thoughtfulness, and kindness shines. Now, this is a squatty that I don't follow. And actually, I'm not even sure it's a squatty. So that's why I didn't use their name. But this is something that someone posted. And I don't know where she found this photo. I don't know if it's a screenshot or what, but it's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful photo, along with those very thoughtful words. How Hollywood reports Will Smith's first look deal, but spins Meghan and Harry's as a downgrade. So, again, when it came to Harry and Meghan, oh, it's a downgrade. Oh, this is terrible. What a blow to the Sussexes. But for Will Smith, it's an upgrade. It's an upgrade. I know that there's that old saying, two things could be true at the same time, but give me a break. Give me a break. Two things could be true at the same time. Yeah, but this is kind of BS. How could you insist that the Sussexes are being slighted in some way, and at the same time frame Will Smith as having the best possible deal in life? What is the difference? Well, there's a organized hate campaign against the Sussexes, whereas Will Smith, maybe they're confusing the Fresh Prince with the Prince of Wales. You think that's it? Maybe they have confused the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air with the Prince of Wales, Willie Leaks. I mean, they're both named Will, right? So maybe that's it. Maybe that's why there's the confusion. Maybe they thought this had something to do with Prince William. And as you know how they say, force of habit. So Will Smith has secured a first look deal with Paramount Pictures, one that focused on franchise-driven theatrical films. Trade outlets like The Hollywood Reporter and Variety framed the news as a win for Will Smith, describing it as a fresh chapter in his long career. But Meghan and Harry's new arrangement, major outlets claim Netflix had dropped them. Then Netflix announced the first look deal, yet reporters quickly branded it a downgrade instead of reporting it accurately, even though it matched the same type of industry contract. This shift in tone shows how media framing shapes public opinion. It shows how media framing shapes public opinion. How Hollywood treats first look deals. First look deals are common in the entertainment industry. They give studios early access to projects while allowing creators to shop elsewhere if a project is passed over. Barack and Michelle Obama, Tyler Perry, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge have all struck similar arrangements with Netflix or other platforms. In each case, trade coverage described the deals as smart, forward-looking moves. Will Smith's Paramount deal fits the same mold. Reports highlighted this production company, Westbrook, plans for global theatrical releases, including 2 projects already in development. His star power and box office history were credited as strengths that made the partnerships valuable. So, again, what is the difference? Well, I think we all know. Harry and Meghan signed a first look deal with Netflix, and the reaction was not the same. The Hollywood Reporter published headlines calling the deal a downgrade and emphasized the loss of exclusivity, even though exclusivity contracts have ended for many higher profile creators. The reality is simple. Harry and Meghan moved from an overall deal to a first look deal, a step that many successful figures in entertainment have also taken. It's better for the entertainers and the producers, and it's also better for the studios. That way, you're not stuck. So, first look means exactly what it sounds like. Netflix will get the first possible chance to look at whatever the Sussexes aim to produce. And if they turn it down, then they can shop it elsewhere. And what really gives an advantage to the Sussexes is that if there is any hint that what they are planning is likely successful, then of course Netflix will be obliged to start trying to work out a deal, to come up with a figure that everyone can live with. That's what the first look deal means, is that we got this idea, we like to run it past you, you say yay or nay, then we figure out a price, and into production we go, or we shop someplace else. And sometimes they may want to buy into a project just so that another studio doesn't get the advantage. They may actually purchase something like, let's say, Meet Me at the Lake. Maybe they're not ready to make it, but they don't want someone else to do it. So they will pay for that project just to keep it for the future. They don't necessarily, I believe that there's no time limit where they necessarily have to go into production right away. At least I don't guess, unless that's involved in the contract where there's a certain timetable. But either way, it's to everyone's advantage, this first look deal. It keeps things flexible. And for the Sussexes, it can be quite rewarding. So that's it. But of course, the media would not leave it in such a simple way. They just said, nah, the Sussexes got screwed. That's all to it. After all, it's Harry and Meghan. Nothing good ever happens for them. Why the narrative matters. The way these deals are framed matters. For Meghan and Harry, a first look deal agreement secures millions in investment and ensures an ongoing partnership with one of the world's biggest platforms. It also aligns them with influential figures like Will Smith and, of course, the Obamas. And let's see who have struck similar deals, yet outlets such as The Hollywood Reporter chose to present the Sussexes contract as a setback, in stark contrast to the celebratory coverage given by others. This article is not a critique of Will Smith. We celebrate his success. Rather, it highlights how media narratives shift depending on who's signed the deal. When it comes to Meghan and Harry, objectivity is too often abandoned, not only in Britain, but across global entertainment reporting. Okay, next. What else we got here? If you just joined us, please make sure you hit the like button. I mean, look at those two headlines. Will Smith set first look deal at Paramount. And look at the Hollywood Reporter. Netflix downgrades Meghan Markle and Prince Harry to a first look deal, just like the Obamas. Well, they probably don't like the Obamas either. So, what are you going to do, right? Oh, yeah, there's a variety. Will Smith has signed a first look deal with Paramount for franchise movies. Yeah, whatever. Okay, so Meghan, surprise for superfans. What was inside her With Love Meghan Season 2 gift box? Well, I don't know these young ladies. This is the first time I've seen either one of them. The Duchess of Sussex gifted some fans with as ever essentials to celebrate her Netflix show's second season. Now, who are they? That's a good question. Let me see here. That print is kind of small. Let me see if I can zoom in on that. It says, thank you for Netflix for listening to our show, for liking our shows. Okay, so that's what that little box says down there. The little, right there. So always very much like us, because I have also given gifts in the past where she's talking about the twine. As you can see, the gifts that they received had that twine string, kind of rustic like string on it. So these are two different people. It took me a minute before I figured that out, but they did like a little side by side, as you can see here. Oh no, not there. Well, yeah, right there. You can see on the right side, the side by side. So what they were able to do was to overlap both young ladies together. So they're sisters. They are sisters. And they have a podcast. And the name of the podcast is, let me see, what is the name of their podcast? Huh. I don't know that. Oh, I don't know what the name of it is. Wait a minute. Anyway, they seem to be very popular. So that is her name. Let me see what the sister's name is. I mean, you know what I mean. Oh, wow. Danielle Jones Wesley. She is on the IMDb. I want an IMDb. Yeah, anyway, she has an IMDb. Danielle Jones Wesley is oh my goodness. Is known for her broadcast club in 2013, The Reception 2011, and The Night Crew in 2014. Okay, so I'm guessing she's an actress. Okay, sounds like she's a producer, actress, writer. So that's why she has an IMDb. Very cool. Now, as for her sister, let me see what's up with her sister. Oh, her sister's name is Erin Jones Wesley. And okay, so the podcast, not podcast. The podcast is called Like Us Pod. Yeah, Like Us Podcast. That's the name of it. All right. Glad I worked that out. Like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen the two of them. But there they are opening up their gift boxes. Now, what's interesting is that, okay, there's a wooden spoon. As you can see, they got some type of bakeware. Now, this is from Netflix, I believe is what they said, is that this was from Netflix. Although I'm pretty sure Meghan had almost everything to do with whatever was selected. But this is the first time that I've seen where someone was gifted bakeware. I mean, you have those, I don't even know what type of baking pans those are, but I mean, you see that it's a whole set of them. There's a whole set of them. I could play the sound for this, but I'm not sure that it would make sense, but I can go ahead and try that if you like. But okay, let me read the caption. It says, Like Us Pod was in for a real treat yesterday when we got back from recording. Okay, so it sounds like they record in the studio. We were hand-delivered beautiful gifts from Meghan, Netflix, and As Ever Official. So they put Meghan, Netflix, and As Ever. We have had such a fun time making this show together, and it was such a sweet treat to know that people are listening and like us. Enjoy some good chit chat. We are both so stoked, that is, to receive these gifts and are grateful that this is just the beginning. Watch with Love Meghan and follow our weekly recap on YouTube. Okay, so they're on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. They have a podcast. It's called Like Us Pod, and they are on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple. See there? It says Like Us Pod. Let me see here. And elsewhere, you can like your podcast. Okay, so I guess they're on some other platforms too. Like Us Pod is the name of it. Okay, so I recommend you guys check them out. You know what? I didn't know they were on YouTube, but apparently they're on YouTube as well. So again, check them out. It looks like they do a recording once a week. And I think I'm going to actually listen to them tonight just so that I can see what it's all about. Let me see if I can search that and it comes up. Like Us Pod. Oh, yeah, that's it. Like Us Pod. And they come right up. Okay? Like Us Pod. You know what's interesting is, do you guys know that they only have 659 subscribers and they only have 15 videos, and yet they have received this massive gift box each? I repeat, on YouTube. Now, don't forget though, they're on Apple and Spotify and all that. But on YouTube, they have 15 videos and less than 700 subscribers. Of course, I just subscribed, but that is interesting. Let me put the link up at the top for you. And we'll check them out together. There you go. So there's a link up there at the top. Like Us Pod is the name of it. Like Us Pod. Well, they seem very sweet, and I saw their homes. They do not live together, but I saw their homes, and they are definitely living the soft life. It looks like they have beautiful homes. And right there, you can see there's a little peek inside. Now, the top gift box, the small one, looks like it had the apricot, the cookie mix, and something else. And then the bigger box is where they had the bakeware. I wonder, do you guys see what I see? Check out that wooden spoon. It says, "With Love, Meghan." Do you guys think? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Are we getting a glimpse into the future? Oh boy. How interesting. What do you all think? How interesting. Well, either way, it's not a big secret. I mean, after all, it was in People magazine. So, but it looks like we have just gotten ourselves a glimpse of the future for as ever. Huh? I think so. I think we just got ourselves a little peek into the future. As ever cookware? Huh? How about that? That would be interesting. Well, the article says Meghan gave us fans the ultimate With Love Meghan experience. To celebrate the second season of her lifestyle show on Netflix, the Duchess of Sussex surprised some superfans with gift boxes. Sisters Daniel and Aaron, host of the Meghan Like Us podcast, were two of the recipients who shared an unboxing video on Instagram. Like Us Pod was in for a real treat yesterday when they got back from recording. They captioned the video, "We were hand-delivered beautiful gifts from Meghan, Netflix, and As Ever Official. We have had such a fun time making this show together, and it was such a sweet treat to know that people are listening and like us. Enjoy some good chit chat. We are both so stoked to receive these gifts and are grateful that this is just the beginning." In the clip, the sisters unwrap two white boxes decorated in twine and lavender. Oh, did I mention that? One of the sisters said that take a look. You see the second from the left picture where she's looking directly into the camera? Well, the box that she has her hands resting on, you can barely see it, but there's a couple of little twigs of lavender. Now, that's a little idea for you. Tied up in a knot there with the twine, there is a couple of little twigs of lavender. So the first thing she said is that it smells so good. And that's what it was. Now, those boxes were hand delivered. And I don't know if you noticed it, but take a look there. Wait, see that? Take a look on the left side. You can barely see it, but you can see the very noticeable handwriting in a pattern. The wrapping paper has Meghan's handwriting, her calligraphy. I can't tell if it says "With Love, Meghan," or I cannot tell if it says "As Ever." But, let me see. Hand delivered this "With Love, Meghan" box to my front door. Oh my God, do you think Meghan has seen the show? So yeah, anyway, when she opened the box, you could see her carefully fold the wrapping paper because she is definitely going to use it again. She's not throwing that wrapping paper out. That's a lot of fun. In the clip, the sisters unwrapped 2 white boxes decorated in twine and lavender, with Danielle wondering aloud if it was from Meghan's garden. To reveal, as ever, products, including the shortbread cookie mix and apricot spread. The goodies also included, with Love Meghan, napkins. Oh, yeah, there were napkins. Let me see if I have a picture of the napkins. Yeah, you can see on the table. Look at the photo on the right next to the spoon. The napkins also are tied up in the twine there. You can see it. I don't know if there's a pattern. I'm guessing there's a pattern on the napkins. But yeah, so they received napkins with it. Interesting. Okay, yeah, so it says, with Love Meghan, napkins. So I guess the napkins have branding as well. A recipe on a spatula and a pink cookware from Our Place. Okay, so that is not Meghan cookware. The pink cookware comes from something called Our Place. So, well, that settles it right there. I thought we were getting a glimpse of some Meghan cookware, but Our Place cookware. Oh, okay. I'm looking at it. I just Googled it, and I see that they do have, oh my goodness, the price of it. Wow. Wow. Cookware baking pans. Let me see how much those baking pans are. Am I tacky or what? Okay. Not bad. Not bad. It's not terribly expensive. But they ain't giving them away either. Yeah, it's not bad. It doesn't seem like it's terribly expensive. But knowing Meghan, definitely quality. Yeah, so that's a company I've never heard of, Our Place. Very interesting. So, other than that, it says Jasmine Reed also revealed her special delivery in an Instagram video, sharing excitedly, I've literally never had anything like this happen to me before. When the Queen herself, Meghan, gives fans the royal treatment, thank you so much, she captioned the unboxing video where she unpacked the same treats. Wow. Wow. How about that? Okay, I'm going to have to follow this person on Instagram too. Huh. Oh, wow. She is just as happy as a lark. She is as happy as a lark. She says, this is someone else's. She says, when the Queen herself gives fans the royal treatment, thank you so much. She's got the napkins. Oh, yeah, you can see it much easier here. She's got the napkins, the spoon, the apricot spread, the cookie mix, and that's only the top box. And then I'm going to try to see if she opens up the other one here. Well, I'm excited for them. And oh my goodness. Oh, she's tearing the. This girl is such a savage. She just ripped the wrapping paper. Oh no. I would steam my wrapping paper. I would steam it so that the tape wouldn't tear it. Okay, yes. So the cookware is a rectangle shape. Well, they're all rectangle shape, but there's one long narrow pan, and then there's two other pans that yeah, so there's 3 pans in all. Oh, there's a fourth one, which is a serving pan, a long flat pan. And it looks like it has a silicone baking sheet. So you can bake the cookies on that. Let me do a screenshot so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so that big tray, there's 3 other trays, right? And then there's that one big tray. And I think that that is a baking sheet. I think it may be silicone. I didn't quite hear it, but I think it's silicone. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna play it again for myself and let it get to that part and hear what she has to say about it. Okay, so 4 baking pans, including that one big one, and the other stuff that I mentioned. Not a bad haul. Not bad at all. And there is a recipe card. So napkins, wooden spoon, apricot spread, cookie mix, and then the 4 baking pans, and what appears to be some type of silicone baking sheet. How about that? Yes, introduce some cookware for season 3. Thank you, Cookies and Cream. That's right. Keep streaming it. Okay. One of the pans looked like you would put banana bread in it. Oh, you know what? Let me take a screenshot so I can show it to you before it's gone. Okay. I'm going to show you what she just pulled out. Oh, there you go. You see there? You got that long, narrow pan, which is great for banana bread, and then you have the 2 other pans there on the left side. Oh, I missed it. Oh, yeah, I think it is a silicone. So I missed what she said, but I heard her say, "So it won't stick." So I think that that is like a silicone something, so that when you're cooking, you can just put the cookies right on that. Huh. Okay. Okay. Now, if I got a surprise like that, I would just I would start screaming. I really would. I'd scream to the top of my lungs. I Although I don't think the Sussexes know I exist, and it's probably better that way. The way I talk about William's family is probably better that they never acknowledge they know me. And I'm okay with that. I only want what's best for them. But I'd rather they, do that with someone else, because I'm just too shady. You know what I mean? Keep your hands clean. That's what I say. Keep your hands clean. Avoid the riffraff. Isn't it nice? I'm like looking at her open it again. I tell you what, would you guys like to listen to that other person open up the thing? Nah, that'd be too much trouble. Let me just but the thing is, when she first looked at these, she's like going through everything, and then she goes, oh, there's another one. And then when she said that, that's what she found. Okay, you know what? I just heard her very clearly. She said that that is a non-stick, for dough. So that is something you use in place of parchment paper. That's very cool that it's got that pattern on it. But yeah, so you can bake those cookies on there and you won't even need parchment paper. I cook with the silicone all the time, and it's pretty handy. Wow, this is cool. This is cool. Thank you guys for sticking around while we, sort this out. I'm enjoying myself. Um, Dramatic twist in Prince Harry's visa case as Trump team unearths new files. Now, you guys, I try not to bring up this whenever possible. I try not to bring it up. However, you should know that the security check is lower, that is, than for a normal non-immigration visa, and would not involve being quizzed about any past drug use. Okay. So it is very likely, if that is the case, it is very likely that that question never came up. So what that means is that the Heritage Foundation wasted a lot of money. They wasted a lot of money for something that wasn't going to change anyway. Not to mention, Donald Trump said very clearly he's not doing anything where Harry is concerned. And that's the end of it. So, this is a Daily Mail article, the Daily Mail acknowledging that there's really nothing to be done. So, that's why I'm sharing it with you, because this has been rather torturous for quite a few people, this whole back and forth about immigration and such. But it was a big nothing burger before, and it remains that way. Nothing has changed. There was never a point where they said what type of visa Harry had, right? No one has ever specified the type of visa that he has. There were all these assumptions, but nobody knew for sure. Now, if they can give you know who an Einstein visa as though she was the smartest person in the world, the first lady, then surely there are some people that are not paying attention down there. But my point is, we still may never know what type of visa Harry has. Also, his father is a head of state. I repeat, his father is a head of state. And there have been God knows how many treaties signed over the years between the two countries. So there may be something in the language of a treaty somewhere that nobody knows of, or that people pretend like it's not there. But we don't know what Harry's status is. We may never know what his status is. Okay? We may never know. And that's okay. It ain't none of our business. So long as nobody is bothering that family, if they cool, I'm cool. It's just that simple. Let me see. Mary H., I don't think that, Baron. You work hard for the Sussex and brought us together. You deserve all things good. Princess Meghan Sussex may thank you thank you. I know what you mean there. May thank you for talking about that family. Well, thank you, Mary H. At the end of the day, two things are important to me: the Sussexes and the Sussex Squad, which is why I try not to put too much negativity out there. How some things I just avoid talking about it. Not that it's not important, but the level of stress that comes from that for certain people, I wouldn't want to just say this and say that just to be saying it. So those are the two things that's important: is the squatties, my subscribers, all of the memberships and everything, everyone associated with this channel. That's what's important. Also, the Sussexes are very important because that is what brought us together. Our defense of them, and of course, our challenging all of the wrongdoing, and of course, that is not limited to the Sussexes, but I think in that we share a lot of things in common when it comes to a higher calling and a sense of fair play. So, like other stuff that we discuss, So I think that in equal measure, all of those things are important. So, but just because of the way the press is, I would rather never being that person that they point to and all that kind of stuff. I don't want that. I don't want that because then you'd have to explain or be obligated to explain. And I wouldn't want that. It's better that I stay in my lane and they pretend like they never heard of me. And who knows? They probably never heard of Royal Sussex, and that's a good thing. They call it, what is that? Plausible deniability. Plausible deniability. That's important. And I'm okay with that. And plus, you guys have gifted me a lot of stuff I use every day. Like right now, I am still using my, I have 3 of these thermal cups. And I have one that I use for my smoothies. I have one that I use for water. And I just acquired another one from a Switzerland squatty that is the one that I take on the road with me. So now I got 3. Now, to me, that is all the blessings I need. And some other fun stuff that you all have given me. Okay. I think we're just about done, right? Oh, yeah. Look at this nonsense. New blow for Prince Harry revealed as another key staff member quits. Shock departure revealed by Richard Eden. How long ago did um, what's her name? Sally Davy. How long ago did she say she was leaving? How is it they only just picked up that story? Well, on the second. This has been announced for like what, about 5 days, and they only just found out. It's all nonsense. People come, people go. Nobody stays on a job for years. Nobody. I grew up when people worked at a job, they might stay there for 40 or 50 years. This is not that world anymore. Now, Sally Davy put together a wonderful team, a great organization. And for some people, when the challenge is no longer there, they move on. How about, let me give you a good example. That, what's her name? Lima, whatever her name is. She fought and fought and fought to get her makeup line on QVC. She spoke to hundreds of people. She gone to all type of shows and seminars and speaking engagements, running into people here and there, trying to get her makeup line established. And what happened? She sold the company. I don't think she has a controlling interest in it anymore, or maybe she just barely have a controlling interest. The point is, once it got off the ground, she moved on to another thing. The lady who created Spanx, she sold the company. There's a lot of people that have moved heaven and earth to establish their companies, to get products into the marketplace, and then they sell it. And I think the same principle goes with anyone in an executive position. Once you have done everything that you can think of to get something going, it's better to leave on top than to not leave on top. So she left. People do that all the time, especially executives, chairmen and such. They move on. So it's not a big deal. But of course, because it comes from Richard Eden, he has to try to make it into something dreadful. The truth is, this happened days ago, and he was totally unaware of it because it wasn't a big deal. It wasn't a big deal. Now, if we can just get that fake doctor out of Centabale, now that I'll be ready to dance in the street about that one. But anything else is a big, so what? What difference does it make? People move on. Okay. Sometimes people run out of fresh ideas and they'd rather someone else take the challenge. But you know what? Data Hub launch. Save the date. Tuesday, 23 September. What is this about? It's about evolution. Travelers is still growing and evolving. They may be losing their CEO or whatever her title was, but they still got work to do. Join Travelers for a live webinar to launch the Data Hub, an open system that enables credible, compliant, and consistent travel impact information to flow freely across the travel and tourism industry. We'll cover how the Data Hub works, why it's a game changer for the industry, and how you can get involved in its development as we look ahead to future versions of the platform. There will also be an opportunity for questions and answers with the team. So, yes, she's leaving, but they still got work to do. Life goes on. End of. All right. So, just in case you hear them over the weekend trying to spin it like this is something terrible, we know better than that. It's just life. Okay. I'm going to end with this. Well, let me do this first, and then I'll go back to the other one for a soundbite. The Trump effect is causing populist uprising in the UK. Hopefully, it's not too late. Do you see what I see? Just in case you don't, SK said, when was the Arc de Triomphe built in London? These people are so funny, they can't even use AI properly. MAGA and far rights are pure comedy. What is the Arc de Triomphe doing on the mall? Or should I say, what is the Union Jack doing all over the Champs-Élysées? Now, something is out of place. Either the Arc de Triomphe has been moved to the London, or you have all of these people from London holding some type of rally in Paris instead of doing it at home. Very strange. Okay, so let's go back to Jimmy Kimmel. This is absolutely funny. You're gonna love it.
Thank you very much, Mr. President.
Okay, let me set it up for you. So Jimmy Kimmel is in a military uniform as though he is one of the cabinet members at the White House, right? And you know how people who work in the White House feel like they always need to kiss somebody's behind, otherwise they're just not doing a day's work.
I want you.
Okay, here goes.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. I want you to know sometimes when I watch you riding across the White House lawn so confidently with so much masculinity, I'll admit it, I get sexually aroused. Thank you for breathing life back into my once slumbering penis. That was really well stated, listen.
Okay, the sound quality was horrible, but I think you heard it. Well, it's almost true that they have to say some really bizarre things to appease the occupant of the White House. Some very strange things that they say, but that was, of course, exaggerated, but it's also somewhat accurate. And with that, you guys, thank you very much and good night. Thank you, moderators, for keeping this a safe space. Also, do make sure, as we have been reminded again and again by Cookies and Cream, to keep streaming the As Ever, or With Love, rather. Make sure you keep streaming that. Also, do make sure that you are doing those, what do you call it? Those comments, not comments, what do they call it? You know, when you rate it, you know, you put a comment there. So make sure you do that, because we know that the derangers love to fill those spaces, even though they have not even watched the program. It won't stop them from going over there to hate on it. The only good thing about Netflix is that if they're leaving a comment, chances are they're subscribers to Netflix. So, yeah. Anyway, that's it. And I will see you all next time. Hopefully we can come on earlier tomorrow. I'll do my best. Anyway, love you guys and good night.